Hello, 2024 Michigan High School Steelhead Tournament contestants. My name is Jeremy Windsor. I am a middle school and high school teacher at Saranac Schools. I am the tournament moderator. This year's tournament runs nearly 5 full weeks, from October 4th to November 10th. So come join us for some great Steelhead action. Our tournament mission is education, stewardship, and collaboration. We desire for our contestants to learn about our natural resources, appreciate and care for them, and also build lifelong relationships amongst not only the mentors in the tournament, but also the other contestants. Our tournament is open to participants in 7th through 12th grade. This year we do have a slight change to the rules for teams. A team can have up to 3 individuals as long as the third competitor on the team is a middle school student in either 7th or 8th grade. Please also make sure that you identify a liaison, a mentor, or a coach in the registration form. It's important to have an adult that I can reach out to if need be. Tournament entry. In order to get your registration finalized for this year's tournament, you simply need to purchase an apparel item off of our tournament web store. If you're having issues with registration, or you just simply need to reach out to get a hold of me regarding any type of problem that you're having, my email is jwindsor@saranacschools.org. Also note that our entry fees are intended to offset the cost of things like bump boards, awards, shipping and handling of materials. So we aren't making money on this tournament. This is supposed to be an opportunity to get young people on the water and enjoying our natural resources. We're doing the best that we can to do things cheaply to make that happen for young people, but there are some expenses that we do need to offset. Registration is finalized on Friday, September 13th. The start of the tournament is October 4th at 3 p.m. At that point, I will release the calling card code. That code must be written directly on your calling card in every single photograph that you enter during the tournament. The end of the tournament is Sunday, November 10th at 12 p.m. The tournament length is intended to give competitors the largest possible amount of time to be successful on the water. I think it's important to recognize that the fall usually has variations in water levels and weather, and so it's important to recognize that we're giving you lots of time to get on the water and find success, and hopefully account for some of those things that may occur with the natural environment. There is the potential that if there was a dangerous storm system that came through, or we ended up with floodwaters in a given region of the state, that we would put the tournament on hold over the course of maybe a weekend or a couple of days in order to ensure that all anglers are being safe. Rules for the tournament. You must fish in a Michigan stream or river, and that Michigan stream or river must be open to fishing during the tournament window. Again, please note there are some streams, usually smaller, that close at the end of September. Check the DNR's guide. If you are 17 years of age or older, please ensure that you have your Michigan fishing license. Please take a moment to look over the remaining rules for the tournament. When on the water, please ensure that you are safe. If you are boating, please make sure that you have some type of U.S. Coast Guard approved chest-type personal flotation device. Please be wearing that anytime an engine is running. Also, when that combustion engine is running, please ensure that you are sitting down. We don't want to hear about any accidents that student anglers are involved in. submitting entries and placement, please spend lots of time paying attention to this particular slide. Each steelhead that's caught throughout the tournament must have its photo taken, and when you are submitting entries for your overall creel length, the fish must be placed on its right anatomical side. Notice the 3 pictures down below. Your fish has to look the same as that. The best way to ensure that you have correctly photographed your fish is lay the bump board down. Read the frame bill text. So you should be able to read the text that is built on the bump board. Your fish is going to be laid on its right anatomical side and laid on the bump board so its head touches the front of the bump. Please ensure that the front part of the head is touching the front of the bump board. The next thing that you have to do is make sure that your calling card is photographed in the picture. We've had a few people that have taken pictures of fish and half of the calling card is cut off and I can't see the code that was written on the card. Those fish will not count towards your overall creel length. Please ensure that you follow these rules exactly. Fish must be placed on their right anatomical side. When you lay the bump board down, make sure you can read the text of the manufacturer of the bump board and include your calling card with the code that is released on Friday, October 4th at 3 p.m. You're going to write that using a permanent marker so that it's permanent on your calling card for the entire tournament. The total length of your 3 largest fish will be factored into your overall team score. There will be intermittent updates throughout the course of the tournament so you can see where other teams are. Usually I'll release those on Mr. Windsor's Classroom Facebook page. I will also send texts out periodically over the course of the tournament. So please make sure when you fill out that registration form, you're adding the text phone number for not only all of the contestants in the team, but also for any mentors that you may have that are helping out your team. Also, please take photographs of any fish that you catch. Sometimes we have special awards for fish, even if it's an off-species fish. We've got some great tournament sponsors this year that have sent in some really awesome awards. Please submit all fish pictures. Okay, let's go through a couple of do's and don'ts with submitting pictures. First, this one right here. We've got a calling card. It has last year's code on it. Fantastic. The issue with this one is that this team laid this fish on its left anatomical side. It's laying on its left side right now, not its right. So when this team is looking at the bump board's text is actually upside down. So they needed to turn around the bump board and lay the fish on its right anatomical side. Please ensure that you do that. Again, bump board, you should have it laid out so the bump is towards the left. That's how you're able to read the text of the manufacturer on the bump board. If your fish is large enough, you're going to extend that bump board all the way out until it locks into place. You're going to put your calling card in the photograph. You're going to have the tournament code written in permanent marker on that calling card. The fish is going to be laying on its right anatomical side, and its head must touch the front of the bump. Do not send pictures where your hand is blocking the entire width of the fish. You can get fish on bump boards, and you can get a picture taken of them without that fish being covered up in any way. Your hand should not set all the way across the fish at any time. Please also make sure when you're sending in submissions, you got to have that calling card in the picture. Any fish that is sent in without that calling card in that photo with the code written legibly on it, any fish that's sent in without that, it won't count. Okay? If you have questions about this, please feel free to send me a message. Please remain safe at all times, whether you're weight angling or whether you are on a boat. Please ensure to use your personal flotation devices, your life jackets. Again, also, fish have to be on the right anatomical side. If you are using a fish or have a fish out of the water and you're planning on safely returning it, don't throw it on the deck of your boat or on the shoreline and then release it. Try to keep your hands wet. Try to keep that fish so that it can swim away safely without being any worse than maybe a couple piercings from a hook. So don't throw the fish on hot, dry boat surfaces. Again, prior to measuring fish, wet your hands, wet the bump board before you put them on the bump board. Ultimately, if you're practicing catch and release angling, that's fantastic. Just make sure that when we're releasing fish, we aren't putting them in a situation where they're not going to be able to swim away very well. If you are not harvesting any fish, do your very best to try to keep them in the water as much as possible. If you are harvesting fish, you have that right as an angler. Feel free to harvest fish if you choose. But if you're planning on releasing them, try to hold them in a way where we're not ending up with fish that are being released that end up dying. All right, going through a little bit of information about how to win. This is kind of some hypothetical scenarios here. So top 3 steelhead that are caught by the team are scored. If you catch smaller fish and you slowly upgrade over the tournament, super cool. Each fish that you catch that's bigger will go into your overall score. The smallest fish drops off. So your total score is based on the sum of the 3 lengths of the fish that you catch, the 3 biggest fish that you catch. So like Team A here, if they caught a 24-inch steelhead, a 15-inch steelhead, an 18-inch steelhead, they would have a total of 57 inches. Team B catches a 20-inch steelhead, an 18-inch brown trout, a 26-inch steelhead. They're only sitting at 46 inches. Brown trout are super cool. I think it's fantastic if you're catching them. They're just not scored. They may go into one of those specialty prizes. Like I said, we do have some tournament sponsors that have sent out some really cool prizes to be awarded during the tournament. So still send the picture in. It still may end up with an award, but understand that the only thing that's being scored for your overall creel is steelhead. So we have 2 other ways that are new this year for scoring, and I want to make sure that I spend a little bit of time to point those out. There is a 10-point addition for any team that submits a photo with another team. They might get a hold of each other. They might have a specific place they get together and decide that they're going to go try angling. This is an opportunity to try to build some camaraderie and maybe even get to know some other individuals that are in the tournament field on a personal level, spending some time angling together. I think that's a very cool opportunity for all of you. If you submit a photograph that has you and your team members with another team, you don't have to have a fish in the photo. You just simply need to submit a photo with you and the other team, and that'll earn you an additional 10 points. So we're trying to find a way to get you guys together, and I know that everyone's got busy schedules. They can find ways to try to work around each other's schedules and get together and fish a specific location. So an example of this would be Team C has a 25-inch steelhead, a 16-inch steelhead, and a 19-inch steelhead. They have a total of 60 inches that is scored towards their overall team standings. But then you have Team D. In Team D, they were out on the water and they caught a 24-inch steelhead, a 15-inch steelhead, and an 18-inch steelhead. But they took a picture with Team F, so they have an additional bonus of 10 inches. And so their total measurement for their team, their total score is 67 inches. So it does benefit you to find another team and go spend an afternoon or a Saturday morning together and doing a little bit of fishing together. There is also an additional inch that you can add to your overall score if you submit hero shot images. And the things that can be included in those hero shots, so we're thinking hero shots like what you see right here in the background of this slide, where this contestant is holding up their steelhead, their mentor is with them, And they would have a photo where they're either wearing their tournament shirt or their tournament apparel, or it's visible that they have used one of our tournament sponsors. So here's our tournament sponsors: Fish USA, Lamiglass, Addicted Fishing, Steelhead Slammer, Big Y Fly Company, and Voodoo Custom Tackle. Take a little bit of time, go check out their websites. Maybe you're ordering something for the tournament anyway, and it's something that these companies offer. Spend your money there versus other places, because these companies have taken out of their own pockets in order to send you guys some super cool tackle and apparel. They've put some different types of equipment into a few raffles that we're going to offer over the course of the tournament. So it's going to be a very valuable thing to them that you are ordering from them. And then, they're more apt to help us out in future years, where you guys that are underclassmen and come back and fish the tournament in future years, you're going to be rewarded with products that these companies offer in future years as well. So I think that's everything we have right now for the tournament. If there's anything that you have questions about, or any information that maybe I've left out that you need me to clarify, please feel free to reach out. Again, my email is jwinsor, WINSOR, @saranacschools.org. That's probably the quickest way to get a hold of me. When you are entering your fish images, you're going to use my cell phone number, which will be printed right directly on your calling card. So there's a couple of different ways in which you can submit photos, one being my cell phone. You also could send photos to my email. Sometimes we find that, like Android to iPhone, if one of us have a different type of device, those photos don't come through real well. In the event that happens and my tournament judges are really having trouble trying to identify the length of your fish, I may ask you to submit it via email, or you could also post them to the Facebook page at Mr. Windsor's Classroom. All right, so if you have any additional questions, please get a hold of me. Otherwise, welcome to the tournament, contestants. I'm looking forward to this year. We have 5 full weeks of fishing. Please be safe on the water, but also enjoy the time that you have out there.